Okay, now 7 through 11. Number 7, we have to write the equation in standard form with integer coefficients. Now, standard form, ax plus by equals c. Get x and y on the same side. Integer coefficients. What does that mean? Integers are non-fractions, or not fractions. Okay, they're also known as non-rational numbers. Coefficients are the numbers in front of x, y. So a, b, and c are integers, and they're coefficients. Okay, for number 7, we have to first get the x over to the other side of the equation. So 2/5 x, so we're going to minus 2/5 x. I'm going to come over here and rewrite it. Negative 2/5 x minus 4y equals, well, that's gone, 15. Okay, so we can't have fractions, so how do we get rid of this fraction here? Well, if I want to get rid of this 5 in the denominator, I'm going to multiply everything by 5. That will get rid of the fraction, get rid of the 5 in the denominator. So negative 2x is left. Then 5 times negative 4 is negative 20y. And 15 times 5, you may need a calculator, but that's 75. Okay? Integer, integer, integer. Alright, and we have x and y on the same side, so we have it written in standard form. Number 8, you do have x and y on the same side, but you don't have it written with x first and then y. So we're just going to rewrite it. 1/3 x minus 2y equals 7. That's okay because that's negative, that's positive, so we have positive here and negative here. Alright, we're almost done. We got to get rid of that fraction. I'm going to come over here where I have space. 1/3 x minus 2y equals 7. How do I get rid of this fraction? Well, multiply by the denominator. Multiply everything by the denominator. Okay? As long as you multiply everything by the same thing, you get the same equation, just written differently. But it still is the same line. These cancel. I have 1x left, or just x. I have 3 times negative 2, which is negative 6. And 3 times 7, which is 21. Integer, the indivisible 1. Integer, negative 6, and 21. X and y on the same side, they're standard form. Alright, getting on to the tougher stuff. Number 9, slope-intercept form. We're back to y equals mx plus b. The equation of a line that passes through the given point and is perpendicular to the given line. Okay, now we learned that perpendicular lines have opposite, reciprocal, slopes. Alright, so we have to look at the line we're given and its slope so we can figure out the line perpendicular to that. If we look at our line, the slope is negative 2. So the line perpendicular to negative 2 is opposite, which means it's positive, and the reciprocal, which 2/1, or 2, is the reciprocal of 1/2. We're just flipping it over. Alright, so the line perpendicular has a slope of 1/2. Now this is going to be a difficult question already, I noticed, because of our point. Okay, it'll be a little bit easier on the quiz tomorrow. Now we have a slope and a point, or a point and a slope, so we're going to use point-slope form, just like we did with the parallel line. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus y1. Here's our y value that we know. Here's our x value that we know. Negative 5 equals m for our perpendicular line times x minus x1, which is 3. Okay, distribute, and this is where it gets tough. 1/2 times x, that's easy. 1/2 times negative 3, okay, gets a little tough, but can we cross cancel? No. So we just multiply straight across. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. 2 times 1 is 2. So we have negative 3/2, which I don't like. Alright, let's simplify this. Plus 5, so y plus 5. Okay, and we have to get this in slope-intercept form again. So it has to get, we have to get y by itself, so we're going to subtract 5, subtract 5. Okay, if you guys want to, if you end up with a fraction right here, you could change it to a decimal. Remember, this represents slope, so we always want that written as a fraction. But this represents the y-intercept. It's a point, so we can change that to a decimal. All right. In this case, 3 divided by 2 is 1.5, or negative 1.5, because we have this negative sign in front. Okay, so negative 1.5 minus 5 is negative 6.5. All right, and now we have it in slope-intercept form. Tough one. All right, last one. Word problem again. Don't be scared. Renting a car costs $50 fee plus $40 for each day. Okay, $50 fee plus $40 for each day. That's the same thing as seeing per, and we talked about per. That's multiplication. So 50 plus 40 per day. All right. The linear model or equation for this situation relates to the total cost of renting a car with the number of hours rented X. Okay, hours rented. Okay, for each day. All right, that should be days. That's another mess up by me. Okay, write a linear model or linear equation for the number of hours X in terms of total cost Y. Days. Another mess up by me. Alright, now our total cost Y is going to be, well, we have it right up here, 50 plus 40x. But we learned about y equals mx plus b, so let's write it like that. Would we write 50 plus 40x, 40 each day? No, we're going to write the 40x first. 40 plus 40x plus 50. There it is. There's our model, or also known as our linear equation. Okay. If you had $135, how long can you rent the car for? Alright, so 135. How long can we rent the car for? Well, we know this equation. Where does that 135 what does that 135 represent? It represents cost, or y. So 135 equals 40x plus 50. Okay, so now you could either guess and check, or you could do algebra. Alright, you could go, alright, one day, does 1 times 40 plus 50 equal 135? 2 days, does that work? 3 days, does that work? And check it. Or you could do the math. Solve for x. Minus 50, minus 50. That cancels. 40x equals 85. Divide by 40. Divide by 40. I'm running out of room. We get x equals 2.5. All right, so now what does that 2.5 represent? It represents the days we could rent it. But can we rent it a half day? Probably not. If you wrote your answer, we can rent it for 2.5 days. And the car company lets you rent it for 2.5 days, that's great. But most car companies will not, even if you take it for an extra hour that day. So okay, now you only have $135. You can't rent it for 3 days because you don't have enough money. You can only rent it for 2. It has to go down, okay, because you only have enough money to afford 2 days. All right, the car company won't let you go for a half day. We're assuming, unless you find a good car company. Okay, that's it. Time to go.